So, yesterday we had a look at Cain and Abel, and there's quite a lot to go through there, and it was only a short reading, but I've had a look through the notes that are underneath the actual Bible verses, and yeah, there's quite a bit to take in. So, I suppose Abel seemed like the good child, Cain, they both seemed like they were going to be good, they were working hard, Abel with the sheep, and Cain tilling the ground, but then Cain killed his brother because he was jealous, and so I was a bit unsure why it was that God would have praised Abel over Cain. But then when I read through it and reading the notes there, it was just that Abel had come forth with the first sort of lambs from his flock, and gave God the choice really of the first ones, I suppose. So it was a bit more of a special gift, whereas Cain had just given him some fruit. There wasn't any mention of it being like the first ones or anything. So that's kind of what the scholars have taken from it. And then from that point on, Cain thinks himself as the victim of injustice. So he's upset that Abel's been praised and he hasn't. I think it's tale as old as time, really. We still have that today. I think everyone's probably worked in an environment where there's been lots of staff there, and say one person or a group of people have been praised for their work, and you always get a small group of people or one person that is, oh, look at them getting praised, and we're working hard as well, that sort of thing. So that still goes on today for sure, but I think it's just human nature. But then the difference is then it's personality, so at that point, do you raise your game and try and do better, or do you get upset about it and start trying to undermine things, or just take it the wrong way, and rather than trying to better yourself, you make the environment around you worse. So that's kind of what I took from it. But from what I'd read in the bits underneath, the notes underneath, it was so envy takes over, and God had warned him of sin taking over and told him to master it, but of course it then mastered Cain, and he premeditated the murder. He asked him to go out and into the field with him. He killed him and then lied about it, and God gave him a chance to confess like he did with Adam, but he refused it. He continued to lie, and then of course when he got his punishment, it was the self-pity. It's greater than I can bear, and so rather than being responsible for his actions, he was then upset that he was being punished, upset that he was caught. Again, you see that in people today. But it's just human nature and immaturity over his own emotions. The self-pity. But then what I read in the notes underneath the verse were that Cain's descendants were technologically advanced, but morally not completely wrong, but it was just saying that they engaged in polygamy and murder and violence and that sort of thing. So there's a lot going on, and it's just saying that the advances technologically come with moral and spiritual decline. Human achievements mean we forget about religious responsibilities. Again, this is what's in the Bible there. And then Seth was born, which means appointed, or it's associated with the word appointed, and then people began to pray again. So that was kind of where we got up to with that part of it. And I will do the next chapter, and then we'll call it a day. Chapter 5, Adam's Descendants to Noah. This is the book of the generations of Adam. When God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them, and named them man when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he became the father of a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. The days of Adam after he became the father of Seth were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. Seth lived after the birth of Enosh 807 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. Enosh lived after the birth of Kenan 815 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. Kenan lived after the birth of Mahalalel 840 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Kenan were 910 years, and he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. Mahalalel lived after the birth of Jared 830 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. Jared lived after the birth of Enoch 800 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. Enoch walked with God after the birth of Methuselah 300 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. Methuselah lived after the birth of Lamech 782 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he became the father of a son, and called his name Noah, saying, Out of the ground which the Lord has cursed, this one shall bring us relief from our work and from the toil of our hands. Lamech lived after the birth of Noah 595 years, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. After Noah was 500 years old, Noah became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. There we go. That's the end of chapter 5. I will stop there. Quite a bit to take in, a few different names there, and understanding where they fit in. So we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll speak then.